She. This is Vanadium. See, I had to redo that real quick. So today, or actually this evening, today would be Vanadium Nights. And I'm going to be discussing some songs. So I thought I could do a segment on a song, the soundtrack of our life, with these crazy times, with what's going on. I don't know, it's interesting. I have satellite radio, so sometimes stuff will come on that you're not programmed. You set up your playlists, and you're sort of emotionally ready for all of those songs. You're kind of mentally prepared, and it's a great experience to have your playlist and to have the ability to just sort of program your your emotional life through the day. I like to have my earbuds in as much as I can, and there's not a day that goes. I can't remember the last day where I didn't listen to some music. So I like to think about some songs, and some songs that you hear over the years, and you don't really even hear them until one day. And there is a song that I've been hearing my entire life, and it's actually in commercials that all of us have heard, and it's become sort of I don't know. I feel like the commercials have really sort of damaged the song in a way, but not irreparably, because I really think people should listen to this song. But I'll just say this: like a rock. So I'm talking about Bob Seger and his Silver Bullet Band, and the song's titled "Like a Rock." And so it came on satellite radio when I was driving in my car, and I started listening to the lyrics. First of all, before I even go into lyrics, there is some great electric guitar work in that song. And the solos are, I mean, people kind of make fun of it as being, it's a little bit 80s, sort of hair ballad-esque. Fuck them. I love it. No, just listen to it, man. These times, we need it. So the song, it's interesting because I never really listened to the lyrics. I probably have never really heard the song all the way through. But I finally did, and then I've listened to it, I don't know, probably a half dozen times since then. And I've been reading the lyrics, and it's really fascinating. So I thought I could just kind of go through it and just talk about it with the Vanadium audience. So Vanadium, soundtrack of our lives. In this edition, Like a Rock by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. So verse 1 starts off. Stood there boldly, sweating in the sun. Felt like a million. Felt like number one. The height of summer. I'd never felt that strong. Like a rock. Here comes verse 2. I was 18. Didn't have a care. Working for peanuts. Not a dime to spare. But I was lean. Solid everywhere. Like a rock. Interesting, thinking back when I was 18, 20 years old. Verse 3. My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firmly to what I felt was right, like a rock. Interesting. Maybe when he was 18, he didn't really even know what he was doing. He just thought he was just getting through the day. But he didn't realize how much he was surviving, what he was withstanding, and how much he was growing. So this is verse 4. We haven't even had have we had the chorus yet? Oh. I guess that's not the way through. Okay, so, okay. We haven't really had the full chorus yet. So here we go. This is the chorus. Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me. Like a rock, I was something to see. Like a rock. I like that. And here comes verse 5. And this verse 5 is my favorite. And this is the one where it kind of got into my soul a little bit. It was like, hey, Chris, you can still feel things, Chris. And it shook me up. This part is better. This is verse 5. And I stood there straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. I stood proud. I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams. And then comes verse 6. 20 years now. Where did they go? 20 years. I don't know. I sit and I wonder sometimes where they've gone. And here comes verse 7. There's like this electric guitar going the whole time. Whoa! And sometimes late at night, when I'm bathed in the firelight, the moon comes calling, a ghostly white. And I recall, like a rock, standing arrow straight, like a rock, charging from the gate, like a rock, carrying the weight, like a rock. And here's the end. Like a rock, the sun upon my skin, like a rock, hard against the wind, like a rock, I see myself again, like a rock. And I don't know, what this song makes me think of is he's 38 by that math. And I got to say that I'm around that age. And it makes you think, how much you look back and you think about what, you don't look at accomplishments in the way that, a resume type accomplishment. You look at what your character has withstood. How there are parts of you protected against storms, shitstorms, emotional storms, things in your life, torment, adversaries. And you kept those parts secure. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe it was some part of your personality. Maybe it was somebody you protected. Something. But you just kept that little part secure. Maybe you couldn't beat the whole world, but maybe you just protected a little something. So when he was 18, he didn't have a care. Working for peanuts, not a dime to spare. But he was lean, solid everywhere, like a rock. It's interesting, because you think about as you get older and you acquire a lot of things. And, it's not just things, but that kind of makes it easy to discard and make it sort of trivial. But it's things and responsibilities. And it's the responsibilities that you can't discard. They're their life, and you can't, if you throw them away, there's really just no reason for living. But there is a lot of weight. And I think as you get older, you're better able to perceive that. And sometimes being aware of something doesn't make it easier. In fact, it's quite the opposite. So you think about Bob Seger, and he's looking back to a time where he didn't know so much. He was unencumbered by the weight. And then the part, this is in verse 5. I just got to go over this again. And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. And that part, his vocals in that are amazing. And that part is such an emotional, just high point of the song. I stood proud, I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams. Now that verse 5, the hustlers and their schemes. Because man, are they dream killers. And don't let them be. Don't let them be. Man, take it away from the song is that the time, you can weather the storm, and sometimes weathering can make you stronger, fitter, leaner. And you don't need to let it go. So this, I don't know, there's some other not great parts in the song. And sometimes late at night, when I'm bathed in the firelight, and the moon comes calling a ghostly white. Whew. I dig it, man. So Bob Seger, I hope that you're not mad if I don't think that this is in any way ripping off the song. I just like analyzing it. I'm not even going to go into the chords or anything, but I'd kind of like to and to go in, I just like to play the solos, man. Because they're just amazing. But listen to that song. Download it. And you know what? Try to get Bob Seger a little bit of money. If you can, get, if you don't have Apple, make sure to give him a download or pay him $1. I don't know what an iTunes song costs nowadays, but man, we got to get that guy some money because I hope he's still around, and I want to inspire him to make some more music because I like his perspective on life, and I want to hear more. And I want to compliment the Silver Bullet Band as well. So this is going to be Vanadium Nights, the soundtrack of our lives. And it was Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Like a Rock. So thank you very much. This is Vanadium.